What's good, guys? It's Monster Chappie. We're back today looking at some more Madden 13 user skills. And today we're going to look at special teams. And primarily we're going to look at punting, extra point, kneeling. I guess we can just cover all of that right now. So as far as special teams, we're going to be covering how to return punts. We're also going to be covering how to, field goals, all that stuff. So let's just dive into it. First off is the QB knee. And the spike ball, what the spike ball does is you can just spike the ball. As you can see here, this is a play used in real life, and the time you may want to use this is after a hurry up if you want to just stop the clock at a specific time. A lot of times it's faster to just come out in an extra point if you're just trying to, spike it at the 2-second mark or whatever, but if you're running low on time or whatever, sometimes spiking the ball can be the best bet. Now, QB kneel, if you want to kill clock and your opponent really doesn't have any timeouts or something like that, you can come out in QB kneel. The best thing about this is you can't fumble. And one thing is you do lose 2 yards, so be careful of that. But if you're just trying to kill clock, QB kneel, definitely the best play in the game because you can't turn it over. Safest play, there's nothing they can do. Now, as far as punting, when I punt, you can't block punts in tournaments and money games and stuff like that. Most situations on Verge gaming that is different, but ranked games and stuff you can block them. So you may want to come out and max protect punt, and we'll use the same concept. But the punt play I'll always use is max cover punt because I just want as many guys down there to give me as high chance as possible to make a play on the returner. So that's the play I'll use. And as when I'm returning, I always pick punt return middle. And the reason I do that is because I feel like that gives you the best chance to get a good return because I don't block kicks and stuff. And if they do fake it, you'll still have some man defenders and whatnot. So I always go punt return middle. So first we'll just cover the return aspect of it. What I like to do is either use this linebacker here or this linebacker, the two that are blitzing, one of the two middle guys, and I'll bring them back. And I'll just kind of have them like a few yards away from the returner, maybe like 15, 20 yards. And then once they, punt it off, I'll look for a lane that I want to go to. And I'll just, lead that blocker that area. A lot of times guys will user one of the dudes to try to make a tackle on you. And what I'll do is I'll position him in a spot, like if they're using this guy on the left, I'll put him in a spot so that I make sure that that defender gets picked up and they don't get a big hit or a huge crushing tackle on me. So that's that there. So again, we just bring that guy back, use our lead blocks, and definitely just try to get as back many yards as possible. Or, obviously the best thing to have happen is score a touchdown. So, one thing I'll do is I'll lead them over there to that left side, especially if they kick it to the corner. What I'll do is I'll leave this extra blocker that I have. I'll go ahead and leave him near the middle of the field. And then when I cut back, he's going to pick up that backside, those backside guys sometimes. And that will lead to a really big gain, usually a touchdown. As you've seen in some of my videos, especially with Hester, he gets the job done. Now, as far as punting the ball itself, what I like to do is I do a real low kick, and I'll aim it towards the corners. And the reason I do this is so I don't want that returner to be able to pick up the ball. If he catches it, we basically lost the battle because he's going to get so many yards back, it's going to be almost pointless to punt it at that point. Because if you have a net punt of 10, 20 yards, that's a terrible day. So, your best bet is going to be to try to get it to bounce, and hopefully bounce in bounce, and then stay in bounce. And, you'll be good to go there because as you can see, he's getting back to the 30 if you do that. And if you do a regular punt, as you're seeing here, as you're going to see here, what you'll see is they're still just going to get a lot of yards if they know how to return them decently. They're back to the 50, but you can get better returns than that, especially if you use that lead blocker. So that is the reason why I don't like them getting the ball in their hands. I want to keep it on the ground. And if I can do that, I feel like we've done our job as a kick team or a coverage team. So that's my goal when I'm punting the ball. Again, aim it low at an angle As far towards the sideline as you think, you just want to practice it a little bit. It doesn't take too long. Again, there's not too many situations where you're going to want to punt the ball, but say if it's a 4th and 20, 4th and 15, or a situation where you're not comfortable, go ahead and punt it, and definitely put yourself in a position to execute. And also, if it's a defensive game, sometimes it's the best thing to do. Now, the next thing I would say is work on your coffin kicks, because this is definitely something that can help you out. Again, same situations. If it's like a 4th and 15 or 4th down you're uncomfortable with, or if you're in a defensive battle, you really just want to get them inside that 10. And what I'll typically do is I'll put it all the way up, and I'll try to get the kick to bounce inside the 10. If they want to pick it up inside the 10, they can, feel free to try. But again, with that being said, I just really want to get them as close as possible to their own goal line, because in that area they have to worry about getting safetied and all that stuff like that. Typically, if you aim on this part of the field, you'll get a bounce towards the sideline, so you want to really get towards the sideline. The reason I don't kick it out of bounds itself is because a lot of times you'll get a bad spot, like right here. They're going to get the ball at probably around the 15 or something. So I don't know, for some reason that's just the way the game works. So what I'll typically do is just aim for that corner, and such an example right there, and I just want to hit right on the line, near the out of bounds line, and that'll usually lead to a good result. So in summary, man, the things we want to do, we got to get field goals. Almost forgot about that. I think I covered that. I don't know. Anyways, move this ball up a little bit. Now, when you're kicking extra points, what I'll typically do is I'll put the kick meter all the way up. And the reason I do that is because you have a less likely chance of it getting blocked. And you'll still get pretty decent distance, but it's definitely not what you want to do long kicks. So if you don't want to get your kicks blocked and it's a short kick, I'm thinking, at least 10 inside the 10-yard line or less. What you can do is just go ahead and just put the kick meter all the way up, and it still should go in, and you'll be fine, and you'll be good, and you'll increase your chances of not having your extra point or kick block. Now, for further kicks, there's a few things you want to look at. One is the wind. Definitely look at the wind. If the wind is going towards the field goal post, you're going to get a few more yards on your kick. If it's going towards you or against you, against the direction of the kick, then you're going to lose a few yards on your distance. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking, anticipating the range of your kicker. Now, to get the most range on your kicker, you want to put the kick meter all the way down. And then get full power, especially with that right stick. Try to keep it as close as possible to the middle, because that will lead to more accuracy, and the more accurate you are on your kick, the further it will go. Accuracy doesn't matter too much as far as left and right. If you are kicking from the left again, or the right, as in this example, you're going to want to put it a little bit to the inside. The further the kick is, the less of an angle you have to take, because there's covering so much more ground. But you do want to put at least enough angle on it where you don't hit the side post. So what I'll typically do is I'll just look at since you're lined up with the post, the side post, just go in a little bit, and you should be good to go there. Shouldn't have any problems, and you should be good with kicking. So, I'm getting a little bit repetitive with this, and it's a pretty basic idea, all these concepts and whatnot. So, definitely just something you may only have to spend maybe 10 minutes, if that, in practice mode working on. But it is definitely some skills you want to have, and some skills to have in your back pocket, especially if you need to make real long field goals, or if you're in that long, uncomfortable 4th down situation, you may need to punt it. And then again, you just want to know the situations when you should go for it, when you should punt. When are you in range of field goal? When are you out of range? And if you're out of range of field goal, should you punt it or should you go for it? Also, another thing I would say, the last thing we're going to wrap it up on is, as far as kicking goes, know the difference between online and offline, because online, the kick meter is quite slow. But if you play offline, especially on all Madden, which most people do play all Madden when it's offline, the kick meter is much, much, much faster than it is online. So it's definitely something you may want to just get a few practice reps before you go into a money game or something like that, just to get reaccustomed to that different speed. And that will be good to go. But this is basically going to wrap up the user skills video. Again, guys, thanks for 10K. This is not the 10K video. I really want to put a lot of effort and stuff into that. So this is not the 10K video, but this is something that should hopefully help you guys out, and you know, you guys can use it. So till the next time, guys, man, be sure to subscribe for more and leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. This your boy Monster Chappie. We gone.